My memo tonight is about the Kenyan worker. 1st of May is Labour Day the world over, a day set aside to celebrate the worker. And this year's celebration may sound like a misplaced word when talking about the Kenyan worker, but that is what I must do tonight. Just like many workers across the world, Kenyans spent last year's Labour Day in the most unusual way, as the then new coronavirus was taking root. The first case had been reported in Kenya just weeks before. Fast forward to a year later, things have changed, but for the worse for many Kenyan workers. The advent of the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant lockdown of 5 counties has served to make more miserable an already gloomy Labour Day. Last year, the government did not announce any premium wage increase for workers. We're not sure if this will be the case this year, but there's little reason to be optimistic. You see, when the pandemic hit last year, the government announced stringent containment measures. But along with that came the tax relief measures, such as the waiver of income tax for persons earning 24,000 shillings and below, the reduction of maximum income tax from 30% to 25%, as well as deals with banks to freeze loan repayments for several months. But we restored to factory settings by December last year, and most of the reliefs are now history. Many workers are back to paying the full tax, and banks are coming for their money in full force. Now, many people lost their jobs and livelihoods last year. In fact, statistics show that over 600 companies closed their doors and sent workers home, leaving over 2 million people jobless. And if you look at the effect of this on their families and other dependents, the number of people affected is so much more than that. A recent report on the economic impact of COVID-19 mitigation measures on Mwananchi revealed that over 74% of households in Kenya are struggling to put food on the table, while others are barely able to afford the other basic needs. Many Kenyans have been forced to look for alternative sources of livelihood, while others are borrowing to put food on the table. This is the grim reality in the country, and with lockdowns in the 5 counties, the situation is bleaker, not only for workers in these counties, but also for those who depend on business from these counties. Over 60% of families in the counties of Nairobi, Kiambu, Machakos, Nakuru and Kajiado are skipping a meal to survive. Yet, to their credit, Kenyan workers have not given up. The ones who still have their jobs are working under unprecedented difficulties. They are caught between a pandemic and a strained family budget, but they still put in their all. They still produce the goods we use every day. They still provide the services we need. They're devising new ways every day to make sure the country does not grind to a halt. So tonight, I choose to applaud all the workers in this country. For those who wake up every morning in slums of Kibra and Mathare, trek for long distances to go and queue at a factory gate waiting for an uncertain call to join the production line. To the supervisor who now has fewer workers but has to deliver on the day's orders. To the manager who has to make do with fewer resources and make tough choices on people and money every day. And everyone in between. The teacher, the nurse, the police officer, the night askari, the front office worker. The list is endless. This has been a long season of uncertainty, but you have stayed put. You have pushed the limits. You have put Kenya first. And as we celebrate the Kenyan worker, the hope and praise what is left of this year will be kinder and less tough, and that the government will find a way, whichever way, to remind every worker in this country that he or she matters. And that is my memo.